Greetings, mortals, and welcome back.
We didn't actually check. We didn't check if Silksong's out. That isn't a thing that we checked. Let's take a look. We're taking a look. Oh, scrolling down the wish list. Oh, release date to be announced. Hey, Celestial and Live Forever Never, how's it going? We do not have a Silk song. We do not. We were playing The King is Watching, which was pretty cool so far. It's like a roguelite city builder playing as like an eldritch horror king or something. I don't know. That's the impression that I've gotten. Okay, we're going to click on this link. Let's see. Has this been updated? No, it has not. It was updated 7 hours ago, and I updated 30 minutes ago. So I should be... Let's see. We're going to have an undead Minotaur monk, and that is going to be the tank. So we have an angle there. And it'll take a little bit to go through it. The one thing that I might do at some point is I might make a all-in on tankiness build at some point where I actually go primary with like basically like everyone's using a shield or has thingamabobber. This cable is not gonna untangle. That's a task for another time. I don't remember what I was saying. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I don't think that a dragon is that tanky. I don't think that a dragon is going to be comparably tanky to other classes. The effective HP on my dragon was not as high as the effective HP on the wizards. Now, obviously, the wizards don't have the same kind of sustain that the dragon does because the dragon has more regen. But I would like the mitigation the dragon had was good, and especially was good for that run. But they don't have any means of regenerating HP other than the regeneration skill, while everybody else is dual wielding lifesteal weapons and has a lifesteal enchant cast by other people potentially. Like if you're going a full tank build, I don't think dragon is probably your best case scenario. I would be very shocked if that was the optimal setup. Full tank build I do think is probably monk. Like if you're going for full tank, because monks just have way more mitigation than anybody else. I mean, technically it's avoidance, not mitigation, but like they have pretty good mitigation and they have pretty out of control avoidance, from my recollection. So, are we going to be doing Antagoric first? I am realizing, by the way. Oh, I probably should put this on live scene, huh? I am realizing that the build that I had was not I don't actually have a dark magic caster in my party, I don't think. Didn't I start the caster run in Might and Magic 7? I think the caster run was started in Might and Magic 7. Was it not? Oh, you know what? We should do this because we are. We need to check if the projectiles are. Some people have said that the projectile change has made it so that the dragon isn't really killable. So let's find out. That seems reasonable. Yeah. In terms of the party, I have the party built, right? The update was from 7 hours ago, and so I have it installed. We have that installed. What are we doing? We're making a troll, which is this way. Making a troll. We are naming them. I am a little annoyed by the pike duplicate. Because the Daggertooth is a type of pike. I think it's a Daggertooth pike. It's tempting to name the troll Boa Constrictor after the staff that they're using. And then just make the Paladin Hammerhead. But are the staves that we're using bow staffs? What is a bow? Let's find out. Is it actually if bow just means staff, which it might? What is a bow? Another term for boo. No, it looks like a bow is a very specific thing with specific measurements, which means that the staff we're using, I doubt, it's definitely not redundant. Because a bow is a specific, like, length of staff. Like, it's a specific thing that's used for a specific purpose. Unless Wikipedia is confused. I'm getting inconsistent results here. I would probably need to talk to a person who actually knows the difference, because I'm not willing to accept that the usage of a different thing. Um, I don't know that I can change the name later. Actually, maybe I can. I'm just looking this up because I'm interested because I don't actually know. Okay, Japanese for walking stick. So that's not super useful. I'm not sure if I trust Word Hippo. What I'm basically looking for is if related things use the word. Um, well, what I'm looking for, so like a bow is a type of staff, or it is a staff generically, which is what I'm looking for. The reason that I'm being iffy about it is not whether a bow is a type of staff, it's that specifically the character would be using non-bow staffs. All the staffs are like not the kind of staff that you would actually use in martial arts. They look much more like a walking stick. So, except they don't really like what where is the like actual origin point of like a wizard pole? Like the pole that a wizard has is a weird device that doesn't really resemble anything that I've ever seen in reality outside of a bow, right? And it's only got like a tangential relationship with that. Like I don't know that I've ever seen anything where someone is using such a huge stick to walk with, right? I would probably need to I would probably need to talk to someone to find out. Because like a walking stick is translated as tsue, which doesn't have the same root of bow. So I don't know. Though the other thing to bear in mind is that I'm not actually going to be equipping it, right? I think 1.6 meters is the standard length for a bow. Like it is a stick. What I'm saying is like if you put a bunch of shit on a bow, it might not be a bow anymore, right? Like it is just a very simple stick, right? But if you put a skull on the top of it, it might not be called the same thing anymore. Um, because the tipple like it just looks like a stick to me, right? But the the thing is that it's like what I'm basically looking for is whether there's a generic term or whether it is specifically a staff used for the purpose of this of like bojutsu, right? So the question is whether it is a weapon used with this martial art, which arguably, if you're a grandmaster staff user, that's what you're talking about anyway. So really, this is a discussion that doesn't even need to happen. We could do it if we want. Do we want to call this character boa constrictor? I think the answer is sure. Why not? Can we put a space in there? We'll find out. We'll find out. Look, I like just looking up etymologies of things and trying to like parse because there's a lot of like whatchamacallit. There's a lot of terminology that people will translate simplistically to mean a thing when it's not a good or robust translation. And that's a thing that I find interesting. So I'm willing to invest a little bit of effort into identifying how accurate a translation I'm looking at within reason, right? And I'm happy to make our boa constrictor. We have you then can be hammerhead because you use a hammer or you don't use a hammer. And then you are the wrong portrait. And you're going to be a monk named Axolotl. And you're using a staff, and you're using leather. And we're just gonna pump your endurance and drop these stats. Let's see. And then we have you. We are going to set you as you're a shaman. Let's see. Because for whatever reason, they're just not classified as immune to those conditions. In addition, immunity to those conditions doesn't even prevent those conditions from being applied in the first place. Immunity only affects procs from enemies, and those procs tend not to come attached to mind or body magic, which is, in my opinion, a mistake. I think that poison should probably be tied to body magic attacks or physical attacks, and that's it. And insanity should be tied to mind attacks. However, that does make a lot of shit much easier. You were going to be a shaman. I remember now. So you're going to be a shaman. We're calling you something. We're calling you Daggertooth. Now, the one thing that we're missing out on, so the party that I've created here has one glaring flaw in it, which is we have all of these Minotaurs, and we do not have dark magic. Are we going to give this shaman every barrel? You know, we might. We might. Probably not, no. But we might. We'll see. Probably not. So we're giving you... We can't give you Axe, so we just give you Spirit and Body. That gives us access to Bless and a Heal. Meditation is required for any mana regen, though. But Spirit and Body gives us spells that cost nothing instead of cost of arm and a leg. No, because if I give dark magic to the paladin, I can't give light magic to the paladin, and I need to give light magic to the paladin to be able to afford my shit. I can't get my buffs cast using the shaman doesn't have a mana pool. So, because the shaman's mana pool is so bad, I'm going to be relying on the paladin to be casting a bunch of spells. So we're not going dark. Because we would lose access to light magic, which we need in order to consolidate some of these spells together. Let's see here. We will pick up meditation as a skill because it's fairly cheap. We don't need to worry about it. You are the wrong class. You're just being a knight. But yeah, what would probably be more optimal, but we're not doing it, but I am just describing what would be more optimal, is it would be more optimal to replace the shaman with a ranger and replace the knight with a death knight. Because if we make that swap, then we have access to everything that we need. We have access to everything we need. We don't actually need Grandmaster Air. We don't need Grandmaster Fire. We don't need Grandmaster Earth. We don't need those spells to be Grandmaster. We don't really need a lot of Grandmastery in general. So by making that swap, we would get all of our objectives accomplished, and also have access via the Death Knight to Vampiric Aura from the very beginning. From the very beginning. We're not doing that because I want a knight that's dual wielding two-handed axes, and I'm not willing to sacrifice that. And it's really that simple. It is as simple as I'm unwilling to swap a knight for a death knight. And it's not because it's more powerful. It's just because a ranger who's supplying the spear damage buff is... You're right, I do want a spear and a two-handed axe. You're correct. A ranger who's supplying the spear debuff is not doing damage. They might do some damage, but in a party like this, they're not contributing lots of damage if they do that. A knight, we've established in a previous run that Arms Master is good enough at Grand Mastery, which they have, which a ranger does not, but at Grand Master, they get so much power out of that on its own that they can actually do a lot of damage with a spear in their main hand and whatever the fuck they want in their offhand, right? If they have a spear and a sword, that would be terrible DPS for most characters. For a knight, it's great. That just does great damage because they have Arms Master. So that's the dynamic. And no, we don't really have space for a Minotaur with the party that we've constructed. We might not have really space for the party that we've constructed, period. The fact that we're not using a ranger means we have a lot less mana to play with for buffs. So we can't replace the monk. The monk is required. It's part of the concept of the build that we have the monk. Like if we have a Minotaur, then we have no tank. And the goal is that we have the one person in the front who is going to be able to use cover, and the way so that character is taking on that role. That's a good question. I think I resolved that. I don't know. Who is going to identify and disarm? Let me take a look at my thing. Probably the shaman, because all of the new classes get like every secondary skill. A Minotaur would be terrible at cover because they are very squishy. A Minotaur is mediocre at chain and leather, has an okay HP pool, doesn't even get regen, I don't think. So like, yeah, that would be a real problem. Now, I will mention, okay, so chain is itself so mediocre that they'd need Grandmaster chain in order to just taking strays over here. But yeah, a Minotaur doesn't have access to boots or a helm. They have garbage resist and AC. They need to have something that's covering for that if they're going to be. It doesn't give more resistance and Grandmaster than plate does, because plate has higher base armor, and the number that you're looking at is a multiplier on the base value of the armor. The plate gives more everything than chain does. So, because the plate is just worth more. The plate, I think plate has like double the base AC. It has a very large modifier on the base value compared to chain. It's not like vanilla where the skill is adding a static value on top. In this, the skill is multiplying the base armor class. So the higher the base armor class, the more the skill has to work with in the first place. Yes, I'm looking for guides to get the skill table. Disarm. You can get. If they have disarm. If they have GMID, we're set. Do we have somebody else? Wait, a monk should be able to GM disarm, right? Or have they not had their disarm improved since vanilla? Because in vanilla, I think they only had mastery, but I would expect that to be higher because everyone's had all of those values improved for the most part. Because originally only thieves had GM. Let's see. Unfortunately, this is a screenshot of a table. It's not the actual table. So where is the table? Look, would past me have left me in a lurch where I didn't have access to everything that I needed? No, right? Past me would never do that to me. So I'm just going to trust past me. Past me definitely knew what he was doing. So we don't need to worry about it because I'm sure it'll be fine. Past me put this party into a spreadsheet. Okay? Several months ago, I put this party in a spreadsheet. If it wasn't a good party, why would past me put this in a spreadsheet? It's got to work. I have never overlooked the generic skills when assembling a party before. It's never happened before. So I think that we're fine. We're fine. We don't need to worry about it. We already had the one stun lock. We don't need a second one. Okay, so we have our beautiful, beautiful Minotaur team. Just absolutely delightful. And let's take a look and see if we got any good gear. We are only allowed to use axes for everybody except this character who can, in fact, use sticks. We have +2 disarm right off the bat, and that's pretty dang good for us. Okay, you cannot use this dagger. You don't have the axe skill yet. We can pick that up later. And yeah, it's over now. Like we're completely set now. We're set for life. Yeah, exactly. The biggest reason that you need to have disarm at a decent level is because if you don't get it at a decent level at the start, then you're just kind of boned when you go to do the thing. So let's figure out who's actually best at disarm. Are you actually decent at this? And I will reload to after I've checked if I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see here. Needing to get... We're not going to waste the money on picking up all these skills on everybody as we're testing. I guess we will just pick up the skill on every... Hey, we can pick up the stealing skill, so we can go dark side and actually complete that quest. So you can get up to mastery with disarm. You start out with the ability to get expert. You're going to be useless for this. You are going to be useless for this. So we are going to be using our knight for disarm. So we're going to have disarm mastery. Come in. Which is not optimal. It would be preferable to have GM. But that's definitely not going to bite me in the ass later. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. So we put on that thing of disarming. We have a +1, so now we have 2 disarm skill. Life is good. And we can go to somewhere else. This is the Knight's Blade. We will go over here. We will learn. You don't need to learn the axe skill. You need to learn the axe. Okay. I'm like, I cannot pick up the axe skill. I was like, yes, that's true. Because you're a monk and you're not supposed to. So we are doing suboptimal here. We do not have... it does, I think, scale with bolster, but we'll be able to... We'll be fine. We'll get it up to 10 and just have an item and it'll be fine. We don't need to worry about it too much. So... we need more than 7. And we need more than 10. I remember running into some problems later. I do think that it scales specifically with bolster. But it doesn't scale a ton, I don't think. That is a spear, I think? A halberd is considered a spear, right? Not what we need. Right, we need to pick up the Oh, but that right there is a two-handed axe. That right there, that there be. Okay, we need to pick up the identify skill so that we can... How did I do what? Pick up an axe with magic. Are you wondering why there was an extra axe in there? The Greyface patch in the original game, the chests could be filled with more stuff than fit in the chest. And I believe in vanilla, it just overflowed the chest and that item disappeared forever, which caused big problems because there was the possibility that you rolled an artifact in a chest and it became impossible to obtain it. Greyface fixed that problem by just making it so if you took stuff out of the chest, it would just show up. All the items that are in the chest that were coded to go into it show up in the chest. So that's what's going on there. That's a Greyface fix from a long time ago.
Thanks.
Okay, so you have GM available and you have mastery available immediately. Let's see. What was the other stuff? Let's see. They have GM monster as well. I think we maybe just take enlightenment off the bat here. I think we maybe just pick up certain skills that are like eventually going to be important.
The guild of the body welcomes you.
Can you not learn... Wait, can you not learn meditation? Actually... They maybe can't learn meditation. Oh, it's at the temple.
Hi, how are you?
I guess that kind of makes sense. Okay, so you are the correct person for Identify Monster. And Shaman's gotta have GM for
Hi, how are you?
alchemy, right? Oh no, they're garbage at it. Unusual,
Hi, how are you?
but that's fine. Who is good at it? Do I have anybody who's gonna be good at alchemy?
Hi.
Monks
how
are
you?
probably good at alchemy, right? There we go. There we go. There's that GM we're looking for. Okay. So we have our GM for alchemy. We're fine. Everything's fine. We didn't run into an immediate hard fail.
Do you need
Everything's
healing?
great. You can learn meditation, which is great. I don't have to worry about that.
Go.
What the hell can you cast? You are activating this. I allow myself to use black potions specifically. So if I don't have GM, I basically just don't have
Do you need
the thing.
healing?
So the black potions that increase your base stats, I allow myself to use those. But only if I've made them myself. So it's a very specific... It's a very specific carve-out. Oh, right, regen. We should pick that up. Let's pick up regen. We should also have picked up merchant. Who gets merchant? Paladins should be terrible at merchant, but we'll see.
Go.
They're better at merchant than I'd expect. This is not your D&D paladin. Ah, my oath prevents me from haggling. Let's see. It might be to get the stat bonuses to int. And if it sets your natural age to 60, it's probably to allow you to just keep playing without eventually just having a character with like 5% in all stats once they get to 300. That would be my assumption. There are boosts that you get to your intelligence and personality as you get into middle age that deteriorate past age like 90 or something like that. I don't remember what the original chart looks like, but it's on Greyface's thing. So who's getting merchant? We can get access to mastery. It would be nice to have GM. You are.
Go in peace.
It would be. Let's check the monk. How good can the monk
Do
get
you need healing?
at merchant?
Go in.
Okay, so that's D&D style monk. Okay,
Do you need
how are
healing?
you? How are you at merchant, friend? Garbage. You're total garbage at it. I guess I should have just checked everybody all at once, but that's fine. Trolls are famously good at talking to people, so...
Go in peace.
Okay, it looks like it's our paladin. Paladin is going to be the face of the party
Do you
for
need healing?
shopkeeping, which is fine or whatever. Okay, we need to have meditation to have any mana regen at all. So that is a fairly important thing to have. We have the ability to cast spells now. If we can get one more skill, we should be able to loot the thing, but we need to get our luck up to do it. So just give me a second, we'll go get our luck up. I think everybody has 15 if I do it twice. No, they have 12 for some reason. Okay, there's enough to do it for 4 people, but not 5. That's fine. They can have that added in later. Who gets bodybuilding? You get bodybuilding.
Need some training?
Less impactful for you than the others, but it's... got a force multiplier on it that you suck at it to begin with. Right, we also just picked up ID item. I don't think we can identify this with 1.
I wish I knew.
But we can get that up to 3 if we want. Do we want to do that now?
Need some training?
Do we want to do that now? I don't know that we want to do that immediately. We might want to wait on that. Might want to wait on that, Chief.
I wish I knew.
Let's go check the other free chests before we do that. We need 3,000 experience to level up to level 3. We're not entering any zone lines, including the dragon thing, until we clear out the exterior here. And then once we've cleared out the exterior here, we will go say... Wait. It doesn't affect our bolster level. No, we're going straight for the dragon. This doesn't impact our... We can't do anything to impact our bolster level yet. So we're going to go pick up some loot. And did we pick up regen on you? We sure did. We don't have any ability to heal yet, do we? We do, technically.
Yes.
Okay, this is the only spell that we're going to be... We're not going to worry about that. We don't need the chest. It's fine. We're going to pick up Day of the Gods. We're going to pick up the Thingamabobber. Fire Resistance. We're not picking up the haste thing, because the haste thing is going to give us weakness, which will overall reduce our DPS against this dragon, because this dragon is going to take about 6 centuries for us to kill, because it's level 100 and we're on insanity. Do we need to heal? It's fine. Let's see. What do you mean it won't? Oh, is it just permanent now? That's fair. Wait, we have skill points. And weapons are pretty easy in general to identify. So let's pick up our second point and identify here. Just see what that gets us. Doesn't get us anything, I think. So that was very useful. That was a top tier spend. We're doing it anyway because that's the most important thing that we have to invest in for right now. Getting access to those items will help us a lot. We go over here, we have the haste pedestal that will allow us to go ham on this dragon and speed things up considerably. So that will reduce the amount of time that I have to hold the A button down. Assuming that nothing has changed and we can still kill this dragon without needing to change our setup, which we will see. We will see. I have had multiple people report having problems with the specific thing that I was doing, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I should have healed my characters before we came over here, because we are going to take incidental damage from the rats. Is this the thing, or is this? I think it was this. Where the fuck? Ah, it's this, I think? Where the hell was I? I actually do not know. All I know is we have died. So
Let's go.
is it? Where is it? I think it's this corner, actually. It's this corner. We'll take this one out, because we just saw it attack us. The issue is that we do not have regen on everybody. So
I don't know.
okay. A little bit concerning. I don't actually know if this is going to work, because the dragon is not in a good position right now. And if the dragon's in a bad spot, I'm not going to be able... Oh, I can actually just spam S, except I can't now. So I think this is GG. I could have spammed S that whole time, and I just plumb forgot. We need to... Why am I killing the rats? I'm supposed to only kill the rats that are actually attacking me, right? Is that correct? Like, I'm supposed to be leaving certain rats in play. That's rough. Oh, you got poisoned. Okay. You got fully poisoned. Let's try this again.
Let's go in.
Got a stick. That's an axe. We're gonna pick up the axe before we go in. Is this the right place? No, it is. If we get poisoned, we're dead. Hey, Malka.
I require assistance.
I got greedy. I got greedy. If I set up like that, I think that I am very much going to get killed. I should probably go heal before I try to attempt this. Is it this place? That was spooky.
Can someone heal me?
Okay, who's making me attacks? You. I have way too many on me right now. Yeah, I need to actually do a couple of things. First of all, we need to tag these. Get myself back up to full. I don't have a party with a lot of regen. Does anybody else have regen? You're a troll, so you have regen by default. You don't need to pick it up from a trainer. And I think I only have 2 characters who get regeneration. Another one of the advantages of having a Death Knight over having a normal Knight would have been that. The other thing is that I'd immediately have vampiric regen instead of needing to wait until I find an item for it. Okay. So, okay, you're dead? Question mark.
I don't know it.
I assume that character's dead. Like that poison is just gonna kill me straight up, I believe.
I don't know it. I've never seen one before. I've never seen one before.
There we go. Yeah, if I get poisoned, I'm just dead. The poison does too much damage for me to survive it.
Let's go in.
So if I get another poison, then we need to just take the...
I've never seen one.
Okay. Who is in melee and attacking you? Okay, you're no longer attacking me. Okay, you are... Yeah, it's a little rude to stand some considerable distance away from me. Attack. That's death. Okay, reload. Hey, we got some plate. It would be nice to hold on to that. Okay, we are probably gonna die here. You know, maybe I should hit the one that's actually attacking you. Because I'm not supposed to be killing everything, I'm just supposed to be killing the ones that need to be killed. Okay, you just blinked back to where you started. Okay, that one just got killed by the dragon. This one teleported away. Are you gonna kill those? Looks like you are...
I've never seen one before.
actually probably hitting. You are not hitting. Okay. Are you stuck? Sure looks stuck. Nope. Who? You played me for a fool, rat. You played me for a fool. Okay, well, unfortunately we have roughly... roughly 0 DPS. We can't dual wield until expert, so... Is this my best axe? It's not, so let's steal our best axe. Put it on you. And the reason that I'm doing this first is I want to maximize the difference in my level versus its level when we're doing this. I don't really want to get any EXP at all. Why veggie cows? Hey, boa constrictor just hit 47. The dragon is attacking. It's attacking a rat, and it is missing. So the reason everybody's unconscious is because they were getting the shit kicked out of them by rats. But there's a bunch of rats that have gotten confused and don't know how to hit me from where they're standing. And as long as Morkarak, I don't use consumables, right? I don't use consumables outside of the black potion, so I have the materials to make a red potion, but no, I'm not going to use a red potion. So, unfortunately, the two characters you see here are the only two characters that have regeneration. The other three characters don't have it available as a skill. So there are a knight, a shaman, and a something paladin. So the three unconscious ones are from left to right: a paladin, a shaman, and a knight. And the two conscious ones are a troll and a monk. So I was a little disappointed with the DPS output that my troll had. I felt like I wanted to give it a little bit of extra kick, so we're going to be dual wielding axes with just Master Axe. We don't get GM Axe, and yes, this is on Insanity. We don't get GM Axe. We actually don't get GM Axe on most of the party. But we do get Mastery, which is enough to dual wield two-handed axes. So we get Mastery on everybody, at least, with the exception of the monk. The monk, you'll note, is actually an undead Minotaur, which is like picking a lich, only I can't use hats and boots, and there's no advantage to picking this other than it matches the aesthetic. So, literally no advantage, because you don't get the Minotaur racials and the undead racials. You just get the undead racials, but you do still have horns and hooves, so you can't wear boots or helms. At least I assume so. I haven't actually checked. They're not weird. They're just unconscious. The one with the glowing purple eyes is undead. That's the only undead. The others are all normal Minotaurs. Unfortunately, there's only two Minotaur portraits. Let's see. Yeah, the ones that that look like a skull, yes, they are like a zombie portrait. Like most of the characters, I believe, have zombie portraits from if they got the zombie status effect somehow. I don't know that you can get the zombie status effect in Might and Magic 8. Maybe you can if you like heal at Shadowspire or something. The other undead model is still broken. So if you select the undead Minotaur model that doesn't look like this one, that will just give you a human. You'll get like a default human portrait out the other side. As soon as you start the game, you'll just get a human. I don't know why. There's something wrong with the whatchamacallit, the thing. So, do we dare hold a right click and see how much HP this thing has? Yeah, if you choose this one, you're golden. This one works. However, do bear in mind that if you choose this model, you are deliberately hurting yourself for no advantage. The normal Minotaurs are Minotaurs, and they get a bonus to their axe skill. They get the two-handed axe bonus. They get all sorts of cool stuff, right? The undead, I believe, they definitely don't get the +3 to axe skill. So they definitely don't get the racials. But so it's important to bear in mind that it's like picking the Lich model, except you're not going to be able to wear hats, right? So you're better off making like a humanoid Lich. Well, I guess this is also humanoid, but a more human-looking Lich, or the dwarf-looking Lich. Dwarf-looking Mitch? Why was I going with Mitch? I don't know where that was coming from. I think Monk has a lot of good options, right? Like, a monk benefits from being a troll because as a troll, instead of getting mastery, they get grand mastery in regeneration, which is a pretty nice boost, right? Like getting up to GM instead of mastery is pretty convenient. Do they get master instead of expert? Well, master is very good. I thought they got mastery by default. I was thinking of my vampire, I think. Yeah, they get mastery instead, which is a huge boost. There's a huge boost in the regen capacity between those two values. Regardless of which one it is. Tearing those up is very useful. So let's see. And yeah, for troll, it depends on what you want to do. I think that a Minotaur troll isn't necessarily a terrible option, though trolls do tend to be kind of squishy. So, like, it's a bit of a, like, concern to take away their helm and their boots. But they do get the option to use a two-handed axe in their offhand instead of using a thinger. And if you want, you can just dual wield two-handed axes, which is probably going to do more damage than maces, because maces are kind of just hot garbage for DPS. They're very good for utility, but if you want that character dealing damage, you're not getting that out of a mace. The thing you're getting out of a mace is that paralyze, which is very, very good, right? To be clear, the paralyze effect is very good, but it depends on what you're trying to get out of the party member. So, like, I would say that in most parties, making like a troll into a Minotaur troll is crazy. Like it's gonna be you'll get like a little bit more DPS, but you're gonna lose a bunch of utility that you get out of the troll, and you're losing like a bunch of durability. Like, what are you even doing? And the answer is memeing, right? That has to be the answer. If the answer isn't memeing, you're doing it wrong. that's not. It's not, it's not a great choice unless you're shooting for something very specific. Hey, Doja Cat. I mean, for a given definition of Uma, horses and cows are basically the same thing, right? I mean, it is furries, right? Look, I think that you should always be memeing. That is kind of true. The Uma Musume are not furries. Minotaurs are definitely furries. So, from left to right, we have Boa Constrictor. We have Hammerhead. So Boa Constrictor is our troll. So they're instead of using like a staff, a bow staff, one might say, they are instead using axes. The next person is a paladin, and instead of using hammers, they are dual wielding two-handed axes. The person in the middle is axolotl. They are a monk. They are not using the axes. They're the only character that is not going to be using at least one axe. And they are... I already said all the information about them. And the next person in line is the shaman, whose name is Daggertooth, which is like a Daggertooth pike is a type of pike. They are not using daggers, which they are fairly good at. They are instead dual wielding axes. And we have at the last we have a knight who is named Swordfish and is going to be using a spear and a two-handed axe in their offhand. Should have just named them after random horses. The other night I was watching like actual horse races with gold chip in them. We learned about all sorts of fun things, like what it means. Like they have like ribbons tied to their tails of various colors, and it was like, why do some of the horses have red ribbons tied to their tails? And my wife ended up looking it up and was like, oh, it's because they kick. So the horses that have red tied to their tails are the horses that you do not stand behind. It'll die. It doesn't have regeneration, so it'll die. Look, don't be surprised if we're here for another 10 minutes, okay? I don't know how long we've been holding down A. It takes a while. I think it took like 20 or 30 minutes last time. This dragon is level 100 on insane difficulty. It has a lot of hit points, and I'm hitting it with 2 party members. It's a problem, okay? It's a problem. Luckily, I'm just holding the button down with 2 fingers. I can't use potions, it's against the rules. Unless they're black potions, because them's the rules. And the rules are very sensible and realistic and reasonable. You know what's going to be really funny? Is once I kill this dragon, I do still have to fight through all of these rats. And the black potion needs to be made by me. That's true. And you can't just cheese it. It can't just be, oh, I put a catalyst into the potion that existed already. It's fine. You have to actually make a black potion. Okay, we are weak, so that's going to have our damage output for the rest of the fight. Which is fine. The dragon's almost dead, right? Clearly. Now, there is one concern, which is, I don't know if I've fought this with only 2 party members at level 1 yet. There is a possibility that I die of exhaustion before the dragon dies. We have 24 in-game hours before we start having... Do we want to do a health check? I feel like if we do a health check... people might start dooming. But hey, look, it's fine. It's all going to be fine. Now, if our shaman was still up, they could have cured this weakness off of at least 2 people. But they're not. Well, they probably couldn't do it off 2 people because I am on double speed, and I would have definitely missed out on the timer. I might have not been able to get it off of even one of them, if we're being honest. So, I mean, the AC formula for, like, misses isn't that aggressive. We're hitting it maybe, what, 1 in 5, 1 in 6 attacks? It might be as few as 1 in 10, honestly. Like, it's not like we're hitting with most attacks. That thing stays up there for quite a while, and it's just fully expiring periodically. Like, I think we had 5 misses there. Now we've had, like, 8. I think we had, like, 8 misses there. We're attacking very fast. We're on double speed. So, there's... Yes, I have the patch from 7 hours ago, so unless there's been another patch posted within the last hour since I checked, I am fully up to date. I don't know what was patched 7 hours ago. Oh boy. Oh boy. A surprise regarding items. Well, we haven't run into the surprise regarding items yet. We'll see if we run into that surprise. Well, we might have run into it and not noticed it, but probably not. You're not supposed to sit on those. I don't know why I've done that twice in the last couple of months, and I have never done it before in my life. So, at some point it'll die, or will die. I think we have one more 24-hour period where it just does weakness again, and then we have the death procs. So, I think we only burned through maybe like a third of our time limit getting to the first weakness. Yeah, there are no items in the game. Enemies that are 100 levels higher than you will no longer drop any items. They're guaranteed to not drop anything. We're gonna get there. We are gonna get there. If the character in slot 1 is named Boa Constrictor, no items drop. Yeah, you basically just overwrite all the files in that thing. Sometimes the patches will make certain things break. in like minor ways, right? Like you might have some like itemization issues for certain things when they change like the way that item level works. But generally speaking, the patches are pretty backward compatible. I also need to try the redone version at some point. It's the one where Minotaurs can apparently wear crowns. Man, I am not doing my best right now. All I need to do is sit here and hold the A button, and I have managed to draw blood. While I was talking, I somehow chomped down on my cheek. Life is good. Not a lot of blood, just as like you have the taste. It's like, ah, yes. Well done, well played. I mean, the same way that I beat everything else, right? With incredibly large amounts of cheese and a lot of dodging and single pulling. Okay, more correct. You really need to die at some point. Oh, God, rocks? Ooh. Honestly, if it's rocks, how's your range DPS? I would get just barely into range to be able to... Actually, I would attack them from... Oh, if you're doing pure melee against rocks? If you're doing pure melee against rocks, I don't know that I could have cleared a rock bounty. If I got a rock bounty, that rock bounty would probably be sitting there for a while. I don't know that I could have cleared it on any of my playthroughs. The rocks are a really difficult thing to do because they do explode on death, and they also use Rock Blast, which is an AoE, and just does gargantuan amounts of damage. The way that I handled the rocks in the Druid monolith, I don't know what level you are. I don't have the loot yet, actually. I didn't pick it up yet. I should have. So the way that if you just started, that might have to sit there for a while. If you're just doing so. The strategy that I used for the druid thing is I approached while invis, and then I basically like approach while invis and then go for the attack while running past them. And then pray that they don't hit you while you're... and dodge the initial line of projectiles. And then get out of range all the way into the green. And then save the game. And then repeat that over and over and over again. It's extremely slow and painful. It's a really painful... and slow thing. If you don't have invis, the same principle technically applies. You can still technically do it. However, with a bounty, they're going to be spread out more, which means you're gonna take fire that I didn't take in the Druid Stronghold. Most likely. Yeah, the thing is that depending on how they attack and when they attack, it's possible to approach them without actually getting hit because you can dodge the projectile while on the approach vector. It's technically possible. If they are spread out the way that they'll be spread out for a bounty, I don't even know if it's possible, right? Because with them spread out, they'll be shooting from different trajectories, right? So, yeah. I think that if you're on normal to hard, the thing that I would do is I would find a couple of items. Basically, I would find an item for everybody that has some hit points and some endurance, and pound your bodybuilding skill and see if you can tank a shot. If you can tank one shot, if you can just tank one rock blast, you can run in, eat the rock blast. Also remember to have earth resistance active. Earth resistance will both give you endurance and give you resistance to their primary damage type. And then that sounds reasonable. That sounds very reasonable. Oh, what classes do you have? You don't have anyone who has early elemental access? Yeah, Thief isn't going to get access to Earth Resistance for quite a while. And Seraphim gets access to it at, what, like Mastery? So, like, Day of Protection is, I think, a Master level. So, that's pretty rough for the early game. Yeah, you won't have anything elemental until your Thief gets their first promotion. But yeah, it's not that huge a difference. It's just like a thing that's easy to miss in the early game because it's very expensive to maintain that kind of a buff. So if you had the buff and didn't have it cast, it's like actually really solid. Oh right, they get the rogue skills. I completely forgot about that. I haven't like looked into it too much. So yes, that's a good point. So I have no. Okay, so you won't have it. Have you checked the zone that you're in and seen if there's a pedestal of Earth Resistance? Because that might help. It's not a huge difference. Like, the Earth Resist is a nice spell to have cast, but it's not a do or die kind of thing. My suggestion would be get to expert bodybuilding on everyone if you don't already have it, and try to get just high enough that you can survive like one or two shots. Jump in, smash the crap out of them with one round of combat, don't get greedy and try for two, and then run the hell away. Save the game and repeat that over and over and over again. Like if you want to clear them in one, like where you are right now, that would be the suggestion that I would make, is just get that extra HP into you and hope that it's enough. We're right there. We're on the cusp. Yeah, the rocks are actually crazy strong. They always kind of have been. Rock Blast has always been kind of a crazy spell that enemies get. Like when enemies cast Rock Blast at you, it's always been terrifying, even in vanilla. And like I feel like those rocks are like one of the primary things that have killed me. Welcome back, Tojakak, and great, it's not dead yet, so we don't have to reload. Yep. Look, maybe didn't I come to this conclusion last time too that I need to just wait until I get a good attempt where I have all 5 of the characters alive because it's going to save me so much time during the fight? Did I not establish this literally the last time? You'd think that I would learn a lesson. You'd think that when I learned a lesson, I would retain that lesson between takes, but... Because there's no guarantee... That is true, I didn't write it down. I didn't make a spreadsheet. If I had made a spreadsheet, it would be fine, but I didn't make a spreadsheet for it. If we die of exhaustion... Now, I haven't done the math on this to confirm, but I think 5 might be... It might be 2.5 times. It might be 2.5 times 2. And I think that's more. I'm pretty sure when you multiply a number by a number that is larger than 1, that's an indication that your ratios are going up. That things are going up instead of down. We kind of just did do the evil run. I even summoned wisps. Think how naughty that was. Ooh. We so naughty. We summoned wisps. We helped the necromancers kill everybody. On both sides, in both continents. We were so naughty. We did keep all the schools of... Look, I don't care how evil I get, I'm definitely not letting the fish die, okay? We're not letting the fish die. That's not acceptable. That's... If we do a run where we kill every ally in the game, we're still saving all of the random small animals, okay? Like, let's be clear here. We're not monsters. You gotta save the fish. I am concerned that we're gonna die of exhaustion, actually. I'm also concerned that we're gonna die of rat, because when we start hitting the rats, they are gonna start attacking us again. So there's a decent chance that we die to rats. We only have 2 characters up, neither of them can heal, so... Oh, that's true, and 1 is less than 2, so maybe if we had more of our Minotaurs up, it would actually be worse. Doing a time check would require that we eat up time that we need, so we can't do a time check. You can't just open up Z like you can in Might and Magic 6, which doesn't consume time because it's a UI element. You have to, like, hover over the map, which requires that the attack messages disappear for an extended period in order for it to work. It's fine. It's like a fun little unboxing video. We don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to unbox our death or a dragon's death? Who can tell? Who can say? Certainly not me. I really, really hope that we kill the dragon here, because it's been another 30 minutes. It's been another 30 minutes. I said, oh, be ready to hang out here for another 10 minutes. It's been 30. So if we have to do this again, it won't take as long. It won't take as long. But, because, we'll have more than twice as many characters up, including the person casting Bless, by the way. Our Bless character, the character who's maintaining the accuracy buff, is currently unconscious. I need to stop taking drinks. I need to pee, but I can't pee until I finish holding A. I think it might be possible. We don't know. I've been instructed by the highlighted text to not check. So we're either going to die or it's going to die, and we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. We don't know that either, because knowing that would require hovering over the map and not hitting the target. Because if we hit the target, the mouse over text won't appear because it'll show the attacks instead. So we just don't know. It's impossible to find out without undermining our ability to succeed. So we just keep holding the button. It's all there is to it. It is truly blind. It is truly blind. Remember when we could kill Morkarak by, dodging around and, melee kiting the attacks for, 5 or 6 minutes? Remember those days? Those days are well and truly gone, my friends. It's so true. Preventing yourself from winning is the most important thing. I think we've got this, though. We got no problem. No, there's no shot that we're about to proc a death spawn. I could know... it's possible to have an idea. Because we're just going on double speed. So, on double speed, how many minutes in real life is 24 hours in game? And then, what was the timestamp where we got weak? From that point, you can calculate, 2 in-game days. And then you know. And I hear that knowing is half the battle. So, we're switching hands. We're switching our hand back. So you just need to figure out, how long one in-game day takes, right? Easy peasy. I'm surprised that, we've gone this long without... something dying. It's extremely unlikely that we've passed the first death check, because we'd have to not get insanity or death on that check. Very unlikely. Somebody knows, but they're not telling. Hey, not Jail the Viper. You've come in at the perfect time as we hold the A button down, and we aren't sure whether Morkarak is going to fall over dead or whether the last two party members will fall over dead first. Not from the dragon's attacks, no, but from exhaustion, because they've been alive. They've been awake for several days just hitting a dragon. They're very tuckered out. Man, if I die of exhaustion, it is going to be funny. I think it'll be funny if we die of exhaustion. It'll be less funny when we have to do this all over again. Some number of minutes. It's been less than an hour. In real time. You know? I don't though, because I can save and reload once I get outside. So once we get outside, if I'm alive when we're outside, I can just save the game and reload at 3 o'clock if things don't go well. Right? Like it's fine. That's not a big deal, because we'll have to dick around outside killing. Like, we have things to do outside. It's very reasonable to to do that. There's so many cats in here. There's so many cats. 80% of my viewers are cats. It's as far as I can tell, it's like people just kind of like leave the stream on in the background for their cats to show up. You know, it's just a thing. Meow indeed. You know, my friends, I think there's a decent chance that we are going to die of exhaustion before Morkarak falls over dead. It's been a really long time since we procced weakness. It's been a really, really long time since we procced weakness. You know, it's been a time. It's been a bit of time. I think if we fail to kill Morkarak here, I'm not going to immediately retry. I am, I think, going to train. Ooh! That there is good attention to detail. So we have a timer there. So what we'll do is, if we fail here, we're going to level up. That'll allow us to hopefully identify that poleaxe. It might not. It might not allow us to identify the poleaxe, but if we do die here, we can hopefully identify that axe and equip it on someone. And we can maybe try to loot that chest. See how that goes. Maybe that chest has an axe in it. We can at the very least pump some of our skills a little bit. We can potentially pick up Fate. But I don't know. I don't know if we can pick up Fate. You consume food every 3 o'clock. If you haven't slept in long enough. So if anytime you're going to get a weakness proc where your characters all get tired from hitting 3 o'clock, it will consume food. If you don't have any food to consume, your HP gets halved. I think it's halved specifically. But your HP like tanks if you, and I think your SP does as well. We've potentially passed more than 2 days because you don't necessarily get the first weakness proc at the first 3 a.m. It's a little finicky and depends on like the specifics of like when the game thinks things happen. I don't know at the start of the game when you get your first weakness proc. I don't know if it's day 1 or day 2. So we might have passed 3 in-game days in order to get 2 food gone. Yeah, just call Cassowary over here to just go instant death. That would be convenient. That would be convenient. I'm kind of shocked at how long this fight's going on. I just like it that way. It's just fun for me. I basically did it as a joke, and then I just kind of liked it. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it. You know, I'm getting that impression. I'm very surprised by this, but this dragon does in fact appear to have several hit points. This thing might have hundreds. See, you know, I'm picking up what you're putting down, 13 Brew. The problem with that is that was explicitly vetoed by my wife, so I can't do that. She didn't veto the beard. She did veto shaving the side of my head. Well, if it only has 10 HP, then we're gonna be done real fast. Real fast. It has an amount of HP that is of value. Hey, you know, maybe there's some damage resistance coming into play. Maybe it has some DR in there. Like, maybe it's raging. If it's raging, it's having the damage. So maybe it's only taking 7 damage per hit. So sometime in the next 2 hits, it's gonna die, right? I think that's all we've got. Checks out to me. It has been 40 minutes since I said 10 minutes. That's true. And it's been 40 minutes since I said it was going to be 10 minutes after it had already been 10 minutes. I was like, hey, we might be here a while. Look, you need to calculate for my incredible degrees of optimism and my capacity to forget every single time how long this takes. To be fair, I have only done this, like, twice now? How many times have I killed Morkarak on Insane, right? Like, on Doom, Morkarak isn't this bad. Morkarak has, like... Is Malika still in here? How much less HP does Morkarak have on Doom than on Insanity? What's the multiplier difference? But we have to kill Morkarak is the problem. We can't not kill Morkarak. It's a rule that we have to kill Morkarak. We can't not kill a creature. See, the thing is that you can't skip this island. So if you come to Might and Magic 7, which we have for some reason chosen to do, then... But if you're doing max bolster, you have to go through all 3, right? If you're doing max bolster, you have to go to all 3. By the way, we're doing max bolster because I don't want to deal with I don't want to deal with having to learn unarmed on Evanmorn Island. I shouldn't have come to 7 first. I shouldn't have come to 7 first. Oh, it's only about double. Okay. So we'll be done in no time. Do you know offhand how much HP Morkarak has? I'm not saying you should tell chat. I'm just wondering if you know. Let's see. Nah, there's no way it's over 9,000. I don't believe it. Can't be. It's like 300 max. Maybe 400. It's an amount of HP. We don't need to think too deeply on it. According to my calculations, you're gonna die of exhaustion. We might make it in time. You hear that, chat? We might make it in time. You know what's gonna be really funny? Because of the fact that we haven't checked, if we actually get a bad proc where the two characters that are currently conscious, if they die, we won't even be able to check how much HP it has left. If the two of them die when the death proc comes out, it's gonna be bad. Because we will get a cutscene, and then we will not be standing here, and we won't be able to check its HP. Yeah, bolster should be on. I'm a little concerned to hit the things. But yeah, I haven't changed any of those settings. The two bolster mechanisms basically are whether bolster is applied based off of your level or if it's applied based off of the enemy level. So with bolster off, higher level enemies are way higher level, right? So as you go to higher level areas within a given region, they get really crazy high level, right? Whereas with bolster on, it's tracked according to your level rather than according to the enemy level. Yeah, so basically the low level enemies will still be low level, but like a level 100 dragon is a level 300 dragon, and it's just that simple. It would be interesting. The issue with a bolster off run is that I'm going to inevitably do some really high level stuff really early, and then I'm just going to not get any experience for half of the game because I killed like the library, and killing the library just made me like yeah, like most of the game would get really easy. And then some stuff would be like doing this. Right, there would be a lot of stuff where I'm just sitting here for a long time doing this. Kind of like when I was doing the map, actually, that first map that I did with the Jinn. You reduced the experience multiplier from high-level monsters before I killed Morkarak? Oh no! Oh no! Not like this. Come on, team, I believe in you. Malekith says there was a chance. I feel like I think that it, to a degree, is more a matter of, like, mentality than it is a matter of, like, newness. I don't know that either of them is necessarily harder. I think it's more a matter of, like, do you want the enemies to be a static thing where it's like, this is a really hard challenge, but this is what the challenge is? Or do you want the challenge to continue to change depending on where you are in the game and how high level you are? Right? So, like, do you want, like, Final Fantasy VIII style, the enemies will be scaling up to you, or do you want to be scaling up to the enemies? Alright, well, basic, or Skyrim. Holy shit! That's a dead dragon. We got there. Okay, what time is it? It's 8:38 p.m. Okay. Okay. I looked away, redo it. So we now have 8,817 EXP. Which isn't like a crazy high amount of EXP, honestly. I mean, we got a few levels off of it. It's not 3 levels worth of EXP. It's 2, because we already had 1 level of EXP. We already had 2,000. So we got 7,000 EXP, which is like almost exactly 2 levels. No. We had 2K. You start out with 2K EXP in this. In vanilla, it like starts you out with like a random amount of experience between like 200 and like 700. I can't save until we leave, and there's a bunch of rats directly in front of me that if I move will kill me, and if I attack them, they will try to kill me. So what we're going to see here is whether I can kill these rats without dying, and if they poison me, I'm dead. I don't have the ability to heal through poison because I can't heal at all. So, we'll see what happens. So we're going to look down. The regen at 1 level point does not beat the poison. We established that because Boa Constrictor died of the poison while being healed. So we definitely don't beat the poison with this party at present. Please. No poison. Dead.
I don't know it.
You know, it would help.
I don't know it.
Oh. That one's dead. Okay. How much HP do you have? Are you at full HP? That's concerning. Okay. That one's dead. Let's take out Radis. And then we can worry about Radis. Monsters are weakened, can no longer resurrect. So, we've now cleared the dungeon to the point where we can leave. There will never be enough enemies in this zone to have a boss. It requires, I think, 40 enemies to have a boss. This zone never has more than like 15. I think it has about 10. So we're never gonna have a boss in here. We just need to kill normal death rats. Okay, we're waiting for regen because we can. Can we? Debatable. I can't leave. If I try to leave, I will just die. This is it. It really sucks This is the safer way to do it. The rats are confused by the terrain here for some reason. I don't know the exact details as to why, but the rats are just confused by the terrain. Which is the only reason that this is viable. The only reason we can do this is because the rats get confused. Okay, we have 94%? Question mark? Why? Where's the other one? Oh god, there's a rat somewhere in the room. Why is there a rat somewhere in the room? Don't worry about it. I saw it. We're fine. We're out. We're saving under dungeon. Okay. We got out. And I can go pee. I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back. And we back. Let's see. What are we doing? Rat on the loose. So true. We got my delightful emote that I made myself in chat. Feels good. Okay. I feel like when I did this on the caster run, I got like to level 11 or something, right? I feel like there's a slight difference now. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what I remember. Life is good. Yeah, so we got like a little less than triple. There's a little less than a third of what we got last time. That checks out. Okay. We should have trained learning. But hey, we can just go reload over and over again on looting it, except we can't because its loot is preset, but that's beside the point. Until we get a learner's hat. That's a thing we could do. I mean, we can't do it because we can't get a learner's hat that way, but let's see. Yeah, we maybe missed out on like 1 or 2 levels compared to what we got last time, I think. I think it was removed because it's not a super interesting stat. I remember there being like a lot of discussion about it as a skill. And like I think the development team generally didn't really like it because it's like it's a thing that you want to do like a bunch of number crunchy optimal investment into that I think is very interesting. I like learning as a stat, to be clear, but I don't think that the development team liked it that much. And by removing it, they have an extra skill to play with that they can just do something with. So Ascension is the learning skill. So they took a skill that they didn't really want to work with and replaced it with a skill that does a unique and interesting thing that they enjoy about it, right? Well, you can't max it because that you'll never run out of skill points to put into. When I say optimizing the skill point value, I am referring to like, do you put in 12 points or do you put in like 30, right? Like there's getting it up to the highest tier that your class can get to was always good, and doing it faster was also good. The sooner you do it, the better. I might actually just die here. I think we die here. We die here. That's fine. That's fine. We reload. We've saved. Don't worry about it. We're fine. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna clear out the last rat. There we go. Okay, we got nothing off of the dragon. Except, well, we got $600, which is, that's not nothing. We also got a staff from in here. We got a hammer. That would be very useful for our paladin, but they're not using hammers. We are not going to be, like, scaffolding into axes. We are only using axes. Yeah, learning isn't retroactive. Like, if you invest really early into it, you make your early game harder, but you make your late game substantially easier. Like, if you were to immediately, before you kill anything, you just get quests don't scale off of learning, I believe. And, like, you got basically the money from those kinds of quests and meandering around, and got yourself up to like GM learning before you start killing things, you can get, I think the baseline for GM learning is like 40% extra EXP or something like that. It's like a huge amount of extra. It might be 50%. So like you're going to be several levels higher throughout the entire game compared to where you would be otherwise. Because of the way that the EXP scales, it isn't as crazy as you might think, but the scaling, I do think, tapers off as you get higher level. So it's like you're going to end up with a fairly significant disconnect between the two, which is, you know, it's fine if you want there to be that, right? But if you don't want there to be that, then it's like, it's the easiest decision in the world to just not go through that headache. Oh ho ho! We might get learning back. That's exciting. That's exciting. What can I do for 3 hours? Or actually, what can I do for 6 hours? I guess I can just try to pull like a couple. Unfortunately, I can't pick anybody up with these. Learning is an insanity only skill. That would be fun. It's like, oh, you want to have a bunch of extra EXP from learning? Okay, sure. We won't give you an EXP modifier on Insanity, but sure, we'll give you one you can spec into if you would like to make the early game even fucking harder than it already is. Look, I don't hate it. See, you can tell that I'm so much meaner than Malekith. See, this is why Malekith should be the one in charge of game development. I should be the one just cackling in the background, going, yes, yes! Look, my D&D party has never had any problems with my design philosophy.
Like it's up to me.
This is fine. You're definitely not just gonna die here. Just getting killed by two. We're just trying to kill a little bit of time here, okay? We just need to kill a little bit of time. We need to kill 2.5 in-game hours. I'm sure this is the normal way that people play the game. This is a totally normal and reasonable way to play. I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody does this. Everybody's playing this way. And also not dragging them into the guards, because that would obviously be cheating. On the plus side, they really don't hit for shit when they're using their fire attack. So if I actually did a melee kite, that would go hard. Oh god, there's two of them. Not a huge fan of there being two. It's a little rude. You know, the two of you with one regen skill and no base HP are really not regenning very fast. I'm not gonna lie. Those were the fire dragonflies. The fire dragonflies are blue. They're green, blue, and then I think red is the queens. Oh shit! I walked way too far forward. Oh god, we're very dead. Okay, what if we did Okay, what if we killed ourselves? How is it that the other people didn't die? What the hell was that? How is it you are the only one who died of that falling damage? Everyone else was literally unconscious. Let's see, health bar over. Oh, 1 second, somebody's knocking on my door. Okay, they'll be back very shortly. Are we dead? No. This is pre-bowl. Okay. They picked up the wrong banner. I imagine we can get through half of this fight.
Can someone heal me?
Okay. Any second now, that person's gonna be knocking on the door again. Nope! Don't do it! From downtown. Okay, let's go. We didn't get the kill, we need to reload. One second. There was a delivery, but I don't see the recipient. I've checked every room. Okay. That's fine. We just need to do this properly. Okay? We can pull 2 enemies. 2 enemies is doable. We can do it. This will work. Okay, it won't work if you do that. Just run for a second. Do we have the ability to pull? Okay, there's 2 of you, 1 of you. Wait, no. It's fine. Oh! Oh! Man, this dragon cave is really quite top tier, actually. Okay, that's fine. Okay, where's the other one? Do it. Yeah, you didn't see shit. Okay. So, wow, I had no idea that this was this buggy. This entrance is really useful. Okay. So we cleared 3 of these. I think that we were getting like 5 of them in the thing. We're basically just waiting until 3. Once 3 o'clock ticks, we will probably have a death proc that we need to save against. And there is a boss over there. We're gonna try to just pull. See what happens. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know, we might be able to just pull them all the way over here. As long as they're coming from the north side, I feel like this will work fine. Because, yeah, they get just very confused here. For some reason. Like, I don't know why they're getting this confused. It turns out that the, like, tutorial of Might and Magic 7 seems to be, like, particularly broken. 1 second. I am back. And I come bearing a drink that has been obtained. Give me that sugar. Okay, so we have a little over an hour. A little bit over an hour. Man, how is it 11:17 already? Jeez, that dragon takes too long. It is really dumb to do that, huh? See, the nice thing about the way that I play these games is that I do these incredibly cheesy things, but think of the rewards that I get. They're non-existent. So, like, I don't have to feel too bad about how cheesy I'm being, because it's like, well, okay, well, I didn't get anything out of it, so who gives a shit? Okay. What we got, though, is the ability to follow the rules. And as we've established, I'm very good at following the rules. I am a very lawful person. Which is true, I think. You know, just follow law. It's just so easy. It could not be more easy. Hey, bolster level. We've got a bolster level in 6 and 8 already. Okay, do I torment myself by forcing myself to do Might and Magic 7? Because I feel like people have demonstrated kind of an interest in me going back to like a min bolster run rather than a max bolster run. Right? Like, I feel like people would prefer that. Maybe I should do... There's a lot of people in chat. Maybe I should do a poll in chat. Just between mid and max bolster. So basically whether we stay in Might and Magic 7 and then go to Might and Magic 6 and then do it that way. If I was going to do it that way, it would be really, really optimal to not do it this way, because doing 7 first is really bad. 7's not a good first place to go, really. But 7 has like the 7 has unarmed mastery locked behind Deja. So if I'm doing like my standard rule sets for the way that I'm doing things, then 7 is not a great choice for me. So there's nothing wrong with doing 7 like for like a normal playthrough, but because I have a monk in the party and the monk relies on getting mastery which is with 2 different skills. Like their 2 primary skills are locked behind completing the Watchtower for me. For most players, it's simply not. You go to Deja and you just walk over to the person and turn in the quest, right? But for me, I don't have that option. Because if I go to Deja, I have to clear everything in Deja. It's just the rules of the run, right? It's just the rules that I have set. So, yeah. Yeah, so basically, because of the incredibly stupid, arbitrary rules that I've set up for myself, doing 7 first would require that I go through the Watchtower before I want to do it, right? So I can get Expert unarmed, but not Master. And this is very standard for me. So I think I am going to reload. That's a good point. It do, don't it? I think it do. So I might not have to do this. Okay, what are you? You're a monk. Yeah, the masters are at Evermore. So basically, I can get expert, but I can't get master. We're gonna try to get just people that I don't have to worry about here. Having Hammerhead with 0 SP for the foreseeable future, because we have to get all the way to Arathia. But yeah, I think that if I'm diseased, I can use the Arathia well. I don't remember how to easily get myself diseased in this, though, because I think most of the wells are poisonous. They're not thinger. Like, how do... I don't know how I'm going to do that exactly. I think, yes. Okay, we got at least multiple characters, but I don't know which multiple. It's basically everybody we can't. The rat's mostly poison now. I think top tier rats can disease. But the issue with that is that I don't want to get diseased in combat. I want to get diseased out of combat. Because if I get diseased in combat, then I have to deal with being diseased. The one character... Soul Suckers don't exist in 7. So if I'm doing 7, then I wouldn't even have Soul Suckers. But there are several enemies that do disease that I have access to. I would prefer not to have to deal with getting diseased by them before we can do that. I'd like to be able to just hit a well. The entire party dies. Did I say later, Malagus? I think I did, but... It's fine, don't worry about it. We'll get there. This is going to be one of the few times that we have to do this during the run. We should have enough DPS that we can get through most things without running into this particular problem. When I'm doing a max bolster, it's a bit different. When I'm doing max bolster, I don't do it quite the same way. With max bolster, the way that I do it is that I leave immediately. So as soon as I get to the threshold to get the EXP, I dip to a different continent, right? So I still tend to clear a single area before leaving to other areas within a continent, but I dip out of a given continent basically ASAP, right? The 2 characters that most need their mana. So there's 2 basic ways to... There's 2 extremes for how you would handle the game. If you can either hop between areas very rapidly, or you can stick to one location at a time. So you do a place and you finish the whole thing and then you move on to the next one, right? So those are the two fundamental ways to handle it. The first time I played the game, I did one continent at a time and just like cycled through them, right? In recent ways that I've been playing the game, I've been trying to maximize the bolster because if you look at our EXP, right? We've now gained a bunch of levels in Might Magic 7, which means that all of the enemies in 6 and 8 are higher level than the enemies in 7. So, like, the minimum level has been raised for every enemy, right? So every enemy over there is a level higher. So in the max bolster, what I'm doing is I'm going to whichever place has the highest level enemies. Yeah. So it's bolster is on, right? Ooh. So minimum bolster would be staying on the same continent continuously, because that means the enemies there aren't scaling. Did we just get through 3 a.m.? We did. And nobody got a status effect, because it would have given us... Okay. So, when I'm talking about max or min bolster, that's a strategic change for how I'm playing the game, how I'm routing. So min bolster would be, I have bolster on, and I'm clearing one continent, and then the next continent, and then the next continent, right? If I'm max bolstering, I'm maximizing the amount of levels that the enemies are going to have at any given point within the run. So it's like, okay, we have to go to the place that has the highest level enemies, basically. That's the basic gist of max versus min bolster. It's not a matter of the game setting, it's the way that I'm changing things. I have to clear everything on the map that I'm in, right? But I can go from one map to another, and which map I choose to go to between maps is different. And when I'm doing the clearing, I will abandon Might and Magic 6's zone that I'm in, mid-zone, if I reach the threshold, and just dip over to 7. And then when I go back to 6, I have to clear out that same zone, right? I can't, like, move on to a different zone. I have to actually clear that zone still. Yeah, I think that it makes the most sense to do minimum bolster. I think we do minimum bolster. So, if you look at the EXP, if you right-click over it, you can see the bolster level in the other places. So, right now, I can't leave 7. But if I could leave 7, I would dip out now to do either 6 or 8, because they each have a bolster level of 1, and in 7 I have a bolster level of 0. So I'm just going to whichever place has the highest bolster level at any given time. So you'll just be cycling through all 3. Yeah, exactly, right? And that there's some, like, arbitrariness to which one you're picking. Like, at the beginning here, I have 0 EXP in either of the other two, so they're both hitting that. That would be maximum. Minimum is just staying on the same continent forever. So basically, I'm just... On this run, I'm just going to be staying on 7 the entire time, which means that we're going to need to figure out the routing. And that'll be fun. I'm not miffed about finding out the right routing. Because it is more interesting to switch it up with each run. When I'm doing a minimum bolster run, it's a lot... My movement is so much more limited. We're so much more limited in our movement. We do not have the ability to just meander around as much. Because in a max bolster run, we have to move around quite a lot. In a min bolster run, it's going to be... You reach an overland area, and I have to clear the overland area, and then I have to go to a dungeon, and I have to clear that dungeon, then I have to go back to the overland area and clear the next dungeon, and I cannot leave. I can't leave to level. I can't leave to do anything. So if I'm in an area that doesn't have a training place, better hope I can clear that place entirely within 3 days, because if I can't clear it entirely within 3 days, I'm gonna die of exhaustion. So that's the play that we're gonna have this time. We're gonna go full. This is just gonna be the full standard arc mode for this. You die of exhaustion, like what just happened here, right? Our characters will die. Your characters will start to die of exhaustion. I think 2 days after the first weakness. Resting isn't allowed. Training and traveling are the only ways that I'm allowed to rest. I think I have the rules written down for this already, right? Do I not? The rules are pretty well recapped in the Might and Magic 6 restrictions. So if you just look at Might and Magic 6 restrictions, that gives you an idea of what we would do. The rules for a min bolster run are fairly similar to the Might and Magic 6 rules. In the it's in the thing below the channel. It's you have like Arc Mode's attributes about Arc. Might Magic 6 restrictions is the biggest section. Yeah, in the bio or whatever it is. I don't know what terminology Twitch uses. Yeah, so there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of rules. The thing is that the rules were intended for the actual normal vanilla game, because the vanilla game is just not very hard, right? Like, the vanilla game is very easy, right? And as someone who plays these games a lot, I thought it would be fun to come up with some extra challenges for it, right? And then someone decided that they would make a difficulty mod, and I said, haha, wouldn't it be funny if I tried to do my arc mode rules for the difficulty mod? It'll be really fun to fail at that. And then I managed to kind of crawl my way through it without dying of exhaustion in real life, or dying of old age. And so I've kept doing it. I've always said that at some point I will have to just start breaking rules just as a matter of course to be able to get through. We haven't really had to do too much cheating though. Like we have so far been able to do it. However, this melee run is the time where I'm probably not going to be able to keep getting away with it. I've gotten away from it for so long, right? I've gotten away with it for so long, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep getting away with it. I think that now is our time has come. And we'll see, but I suspect that our time has come. Let's see. Basically, if I have the ability to turn in a quest without leaving the zone that I'm in, then I have to turn in the quest. I can't just... So, it's less important for... it's less important for the Maw version. In Maw, there is less resource management that I have to do, because regeneration exists, both of SP and HP, in a meaningful way fairly early on in the game. So, in vanilla, a large portion of the early game difficulty is that you do not have any SP regen, and you generally don't have any HP regen either. Like, none. Which means anytime you get hit, that's HP that you don't have or SP that you don't have. So, controlling my ability to just, like, level up once and then reset all of my stuff, right, is an important element for not trivializing it, because you'll get so much experience. Like if you have like the ability to use an HP bar and an SP bar for every single level for your party, it's like it's too much, right? And that element doesn't really exist in Maw, but it's been replaced by like a massive, like each individual combat is legitimately dangerous. So instead of just like micromanaging resources, you're like, okay, well, am I going to die to this enemy with full resources at the start, right? It's like it's a different dynamic to where the difficulty is coming from. That influences like how important those rules are. Like the stockpiling quests rules, those kinds of things, they're not really that relevant for Maw. They're not relevant. They still exist, right? But they're not really that relevant for Maw. That's more of like a vanilla thing. It still matters for Maw when I'm in like a place that maybe I'm not getting a ton of EXP, and I would like to be able to like ration out my leveling so that I don't die of exhaustion. Like it's still relevant in Maw. It's just not as relevant for as long. Okay, we're gonna check if we can identify everything.
I don't know.
We can't identify that.
Now this
We can identify this. That gives 9 endurance. That's huge. Right, we needed to pick up repair item. That's the thing that we really need. Yes, if a quest is in a different zone than the quest giver, it won't be able to be turned in until I've finished the entire zone that you find it in. So,
Can I help you with anything?
and even then, only if you have town portal, because the no unnecessary travel condition
Thanks. Come again.
really messes with stuff.
fixed it.
So this only requires 1, apparently.
Fixed it.
That's convenient. That's very convenient. Okay, let's do we just invest in identify item all the way to 7? I think we do. I think we just invest into identify item all the way. That is 37 hit points and 28 personality. And just a gargantuan amount of damage. So this weapon we had sitting on our inventory would have substantially sped up how quickly we'd kill that goddamn dragon. So that's a big deal. This is a halberd, which is not a type of axe, unfortunately. And this is a helm of defense, which I'm realizing I probably can't equip on anybody. Yeah, we can't equip helms, and we can't equip boots. We just don't have... Ooh, regen! I love that for me. Who has... Are you using leather? Do you use leather or chain? You don't... I think you... Anyone know offhand for what the shaman's skills are for that? Would it be a leather or a chain that they have higher skill in? So party composition is a troll, a paladin, a monk, a shaman, and a knight. So 4 of them are minotaurs, and this character is undead, but they also can't equip hats or boots. They don't get any benefits from it, but they can't equip hats or boots. So we have a Staff of Speed. This is 2d11. You know, that seems like a pretty decent upgrade over 2d4. Okay, I'll pick leather then. That'll also mean that they can share with basically everybody else. So then we will give leather skill to...
See anything you want?
Okay. Well, the staff GM is usable with unarmed. So it wouldn't really make that huge of a difference, honestly. The shaman isn't going to be the monk isn't going to be a major contributor to DPS early on unless they get a really good staff somewhere. in either direction, it doesn't really matter that much. I don't think that would lend itself to interesting gameplay. I do like doing that on vanilla because unarmed is meaningfully able to do stuff. From a practical perspective, if you do that in Maw, you're kind of just saying, okay, well, I'm just not. This character just won't do any damage until we get GM staff, right? Like it's basically just saying they can't attack because the scaling on weapons is like so high and important. They not really, no. In Maw, the numbers are massively higher. I wouldn't personally recommend it unless the numbers have been shifted more than I think. I don't think that using unarmed manual is going to be particularly viable. I could be wrong. Like you'd have to look at the numbers. I guess I can check some of the numbers right now. Let's see. So right now with a level 1 required staff, we have 21 to 44. So each point we have 14 straight up with this. Did I save? I did, right? With this, we can just pump this to the maximum we can get it to, which is 6. We now have 30 damage as a set value. So maxing out our skill right now with like the weakest weapon we can get, like this is very, very weak. We can get our unarmed to be on par with this staff. If this staff had this 64 points of body damage on it, the staff would be doing triple the damage of the unarmed. This axe is doing massively more damage than unarmed can possibly reach right now. So unarmed is going to really struggle to catch up to the inflated values of the weaponry. I can check the speed. The speed on unarmed is a recovery time of 94, 103. So no, it's like barely different. It's like 10% faster. Unarmed is not very fast by default. It just scales really well. Right? Now, like, it does... And it doesn't seem like it scales speed until expert. Was it super fast in vanilla? Isn't it like... I think it's like 80 or 60 base in vanilla. Like, it's a lot faster than a staff, but it's not like dagger fast, I don't think. I can check. You know, the gray face exists. Let's take a look. Gray face. GitHub. What's that? Where's gray? Excuse me. Greyface's website is still up, right? Well, this is useful. Thank you, Google, for not allowing me to find. Does anyone remember the actual URL for Greyface's website? Because Google is not finding it anymore. Because Greyface isn't selling me anything. Let's see. That's so interesting. Because Greyface's website had a lot of really useful stuff on it, and I'm not seeing the website anymore. If that website's gone, that's going to be really unfortunate because that was a very useful, coherent tool. Oh, has it all been? Oh, was it always on GitHub? So it's been mirrored over to GitHub or something, right? Was it always on GitHub? Huh. Okay. Yes. So, thanks, Malakath. I saw the GitHub page, but I was like, oh, okay, this is like a new page. No, it's not a new page. It's the old page. Okay. So we don't need that anymore because it's been looked up. Yeah, and 60 is not exactly slow. I think that is what daggers were, right? Daggers were base 60 as well. Let's see. So we have repair skill +1. We also have meditation. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody with chain. Hey! That's what I like to see. That is what I like to see. I love to see that so much. I do love to see it. Okay. So we have an endurance +4. Let's put that on somebody. Let's see. Who needs regen? You need regen, so let's give you the cloak. Let's see. The leather can go on you. Perfect. We can't use that. Cloak goes on you. And now we just have the knight who needs regen. Everybody else has a source of regen. Since you don't have a source of regen, I might as well give you that. There's only one character who currently uses spell points in a meaningful capacity, and that's you, so we'll give you that. Anything else that we need to do? We have a Ring of Health. Who do we give this to? Preferably somebody... You know what? Let's give it to Swordfish, who, despite being a knight, is the lowest HP of anyone. No, we don't have anybody who uses chain, actually. We have a troll, so that's leather. We have paladin, which is plate. Knight, which is plate. Monk and shaman. So we have 2 characters that are going to use leather, and the others... Or, sorry, 3 characters with leather and 2 with plate. We don't have any chain users. Now, it would be optimal to pick up the skill and just throw this onto somebody, but again, it's me. We don't do optimal, we just do nonsense. Okay, so we're just going to slap that on you. We have this endurance chest, which we will give to you. Let's see. Yeah, chain is underutilized. It's like the specific classes that I want to use just aren't really chain people, right? Like in vanilla, like chain was kind of like I feel like chain was kind of just weak because it's like it didn't really have a job that it did very well. In this, it's not the chain is bad, right? It's just that I don't... Like, I would be using chain if I had a ranger, but I'm making my life harder by using a knight, and so I don't have it. I don't think we need more WoW inspiration than running around with 4 Minotaurs, you know? Not a ton of games that you can do that in. So, everybody's going to be fairly... Look at that. Look how much easier this is when we have 5 characters and they're all equipped. Let's see. Some Final Fantasy mods? Which Final Fantasy? 98. Oh Jesus, that's the boss. Okay, wait. No. Okay, so I'm gonna get some distance on you, and then we're gonna go. Ah, there's a boss on us. Go away. Okay, hopefully they play nice and don't kill her. Oh god, they're not gonna play nice. They're not gonna play nice. Okay, this is fine. Oh, you're not a boss. You're just a normal queen. You are a queen. There's a queen and a boss queen. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You know, that actually went better than I would have expected. That went forever and ever. That was going pretty good. Okay, this is an exploder, which explains why everybody died. Maybe.
Yes.
Okay. Can we actually just beat the shit out of you? I'm actually not sure. My assumption is no. But maybe. We have a lot of damage. Because you're gonna die if we take too many more hits. Oh, you can't regenerate either. So unlike everybody else, you're not gonna be getting back up. Okay. I think we could have handled that if we hadn't just stood there for as long as we did. I also need to remember to actually heal people. Okay. That could be interesting. The thing that I love about it, about Final Fantasy VIII is I just love the ability to reach the Cactuar at level 7. And then have, the 4 boosts active all simultaneously. And that, I'm a simple creature with simple desires. Okay, we do have the boss coming. Now, we have a couple options here. We could cheese the boss, but we might be able to fight it normally. But fighting it normally... Whoa! That was some deeps. Where the fuck are we? Oh. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go hide. Please? Okay. And then we're just gonna, we're just gonna fight it here, because we can. Whew. Hey, we found some boots off of that boss. Because we have Day of the Gods active, so we have 71 endurance. Like, you have to... We're healing for 6, and we can go down to negative 71 without dying. Just think of the life we could have led if we had brought a Lich instead of the Undead Minotaur. We'd have so much extra AC on the party. Don't worry about it. Our strategy is going to be so powerful that we're just going to go completely crazy. Yeah, endurance is the limit of how negative you can go without dying. With preservation, it has now been shifted. It used to be that preservation just prevented you from dying. Instead, preservation now changes it from your endurance value to your HP value. Because of the fact that max HP is related to endurance, there's certainly a relationship between the two, but yeah, it is just straight, if you go less than your endurance. You can use that to fun effect, actually, in 7, because in 7, the Scholar's Cap reduces your endurance by a huge amount. I think it's like minus 50. And because of that, if you make a level 1 and you get a Scholar's Cap on them, they'll die with a positive HP amount. Because if your endurance goes negative, if you have a positive equal to that value, you die. So before you go unconscious, you die. It's a very fun interaction that I used for one of my runs. I basically you can't do it on this. I mean, you probably could, but there wouldn't be any reason to. But like, if you get a Scholar's Cap at level 1 on an elf, if you don't have Day of the Gods active, you simply die. At max HP, you just die. So for the first bit of the run, you actually have to basically equip and unequip the hat in order to buff. So basically, like, anytime you go to train, your buffs drop. So when you go to train, you have to actually take the hat off, because if you don't take the hat off, you'll train, you'll be fully healed, but your buffs will be removed, and then you die. It's pretty fun. I should do a run like that again. I don't know what like I should do it for. Like, I feel like I should do it for some sort of an event. For some sort of an event, I should do a run of with Scholar's Cap again. I just need to get around to, maybe that'll be my next vanilla run. The Save the Queen run was very fun. Because, like, even later in the game, right, like, I was deliberately not increasing that character's endurance. So, because I was deliberately not increasing their endurance, they would just straight up die if they got below like 50 HP, basically, right? Because you can drop it. I think it was like 40. They had like negative 45 endurance, because I think you can drop it. You can drop their endurance to 5, and then it's minus 50. And so as long as your max HP was under that, you would die instantly. It was such a fun run. Because, like, even later on, like, you're still in very extreme risk of just straight up getting killed by shit. I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty tanky party. Like, this is a way more tanky party than you'd think. Come on, come on, come on. So sad. The queens are also so huge. Were the queens this big in vanilla? I feel like they weren't, right? Oh, so that would depend on your settings. So the Might Magic 7 had like some really weird. There was basically a setting for like 3D. Was it 3D acceleration? It was something like that. And depending on whether you toggled that on or not, the color scheme of the creatures completely changed. So this is the default color scheme. I think with that setting on, I'm not positive. I think this is the default with that setting on. Because all the things were less colorful if you had it off, I believe. A lot of them looked, in my opinion, better with it off, because a lot of things were just like really like brightly colored. Like the spiders in particular were like really chromatic in like a way that was like, this is very... Unrealistic isn't the right word. It's like more cartoonish than the rest of the art style. So it was just kind of like a weird dynamic. Let's see. Okay, is that the only boss? That might be the only boss. Do we want to try to use... But yeah, we will hopefully be able to handle this next area coming up. Luckily, I don't have to worry about desyncing with unconsciousness anymore, because that would be a pain to deal with. Especially because I just have such atrociously bad healing. It occurs to me that I haven't actually invested any of my points on these other characters. Maybe I should actually do that. Yeah, I probably I should probably do that. Okay, what are we doing on EXP? We have 3k to go, so we're going to need a lot of EXP to be able to level up. Let's see. You know, I guess actually with the... We've actually technically broken a rule already, now that I think about it. I wasn't really thinking about the quest rules, but we technically have actually broken a rule there. Because when we went to train, we should have actually turned in all of the things that we can already turn in before we trained. I don't think it would have made a difference. I think each one of them is worth... Oh, actually, because there is the... We probably would have had an additional level. Yeah, gotta reset the whole run. It doesn't really make a meaningful difference. The spacing doesn't change if we just finish this whole section before we train again. And it probably wouldn't change anything even if we do space things out a little bit differently than that. If I run out of gold for training, then I can't train at all. If I don't have enough gold to train all the way, I'm just not allowed to train. So, better not. Best not run out. That's a fairly easy. That's a fairly easy thing to work with. Oh, you're unconscious again. So the reason that it would matter is for the purposes of like dealing with timers and stuff like that. So like I'm gonna have the amount of time that I have to get through the temple. I could have more time to do all of these sections, each individual section, if I basically just give myself EXP enough to like level up whenever it's convenient to give me enough EXP to level up. So like right now I have the ability to level up again. I just would need to go turn in all these quests. But I wouldn't have enough EXP to level up if I if I had turned in these quests already and already leveled up using their EXP, right? So I basically have the ability to reset the timer before I have to worry about the death timer again. It's not, again, it's not a huge deal. Like in Maw, there are points where that's a concern. Obviously, we just ran into one of them, which is just dealing with Morkarak. But like, and if everyone was actually up for that, we wouldn't have run into the problem that we did. I'm actually just gonna pop in here because I feel like this will allow us to. You know, they're actually being way nicer than they usually are. Usually it's not this clean. But I guess usually there's a lot more of them alive when I do it. Yeah, this is way cleaner than it usually is.
Let's kill another.
This is a particularly weak set of fireflies as well. So we don't have quite enough EXP to level up. We have a seashell. We have daggers. Don't need to worry about those. We'll take all of these. So begins the nightmare. The temple, it depends, right? Like, if I get a regenerator in the temple, that can take forever, you know? Yeah, I only got the one boss here, which is surprising. I think I usually get two, but it's just like it's a small pack, right? Like, usually I get a bigger pack than this. Because I think it's usually two. Because there's just one per 40 enemies.
Need some training?
I think... Do we invest in this? Yeah, there's no Oracle on the first boss. We got it 2 playthroughs in a row.
The Guild of the Spirit welcomes you.
Yep, the whole, you know, whole run is dead. Do we take Fate? It's pretty cheap. I think maybe we take Fate. There's Celestial. Do we take Fate? We can put Fate on you. That would get us a little bit of extra crit, which is really nice to have. I already have Merchant. I have Merchant on my Paladin. Merchant is shared for the party in this one. It doesn't say that it's shared. So, like,
Guild of the Spirit welcomes you.
You get the... You only get this dialogue for the person who actually has the skill, but you get the thing for you get the actual price for everybody. So if you're not targeting the person who actually has the skill, you won't see the dialogue. Let's see. This would cost 50% of my mana reserve. I think we take it. You don't already have it, right? Yeah, you don't.
The Guild of the
Let's just take Fate.
welcomes you.
Wait, are we gonna do something really dumb here? Do we want... Apparently in the last run I was not purchasing spells. Do I want to try to do that for this run? So, depending on what promotion you're at, each promotion doubles the cost. And some characters... So, Might and Magic 8 characters start at their second promotion. There's only one promotion quest in Might and Magic 8 for each character. So, Necromancers promote directly into Liches. So, mechanically, they're treated as mid-tier promotions. Yeah, so like a troll is a mid-tier promotion at the start, and then they promote into a final tier. But if you're playing as like a Might and Magic 6 or 7 class, they will not start out with that. So you're my disarm character. I guess I need to get you up to 4 at the very least. We should just get you to 4. We should also get repair up to 4. So I think you can't afford to really spend too much. Let's see. Well, I mean, trolls were really bad in vanilla. Let's see. It depends on the skill. So for miscellaneous skills in this, on Insanity, on the difficulty setting that I'm on, miscellaneous skills are 4, 7, and 10, just like in vanilla. And non-miscellaneous skills, combat skills, including miscellaneous combat skills, so that does include things like Arms Master, are instead 8, 20, and 32. It's a slight difference. So to get Grandmaster for a primary skill, it is going to take 32, which is a lot. But that's only for Insanity. That's only for Road to Insanity. The other difficulties is not like that. Let's see. I think that Ascension is weird. Is it Ascension that's weird? I think it might. Ascension and Enlightenment have weird requirements. It's not 8 for all miscellaneous. It's only 8 for things that are part of combat. So the standard, like, I could basically just show it to you. The let's see, because all these characters have most of their miscellaneous skills at exactly what they need. So this is at 20 because I needed it at 20 to get the things that I needed. But like identify item is GM 10, GM 10, etc. Boa Constrictor is my troll. Okay, here are those boots that we got. We can't identify them. They're too fancy to identify. You know, it just occurred to me. Swordfish can use spears. Because Swordfish's actual final gear is going to be
Need a new weapon?
whatchamacallit, is going to be a spear. So we actually have the ability to look at these spears that we have and actually use some of these potentially. So this is a tiny upgrade over being basically naked. Let's see if any of these are actually useful. Okay, this is a 37% DPS boost. So this is the thing to use for you. Yeah, we're not naming them spearfish because they're using spears. Everyone's named after the weapons that they're not using. The weapons that you would expect them to be using, but which they are not using. Let's see. Yeah, Knight is going Axe Spear. So it's about 1 o'clock. Do we... I think I will punish myself and just not turn in... What? Wait. Someone called for loot to be played, so we need to go find a loot. You can use a two-handed axe in your offhand once you get up to mastery. So it's going to be a while before we can actually do the dual wield. Okay, we've used the loot. So dual wield will be quite a ways away. For this character, they also need to get Mastery before they can dual wield. So they need to get Master Spear, which is 20 spear skill, in addition to the thing. You know, I also could just move gear around to give that character regen, now that I think about it. Do we sell?
We could sell it.
You know, that's so true. You're so smart. We could sell it. That's a thing we could do. You know, maybe we do that. Maybe we do that rather than go into this dungeon and fight the inventory boss. Then we could.
See anything you want?
No, I'm just bad at remembering to do smart things. So there are no rules against well, okay, well there are some rules against selling, in that I generally don't sell artifacts and shit like that. I'm thinking that it might be the time to buck that trend. Wait! We have another regen cloak. That's amazing. Okay. So you have regen. We have a regen cloak here, which means every character has regen. Every single character will regenerate over time. That is actually pretty clutch.
Need a new weapon?
That's pretty important. We're going to hold on to this stone axe because as soon as we get to expert, we can do that. It gives some amount. I can check in a second. It doesn't specify it. It's like related to a bunch of different factors. We are not using maces on anybody. We don't need a bow that doesn't do anything. We can use bows because we have the ability to equip them without using them. So we can use them as stat sticks, basically. We need to hold on to this longbow because we need to give it to the person. What happens if you sell all the longbows? No shields. It's exclusively axes, except for a staff on the monk and a spear on the thinger, the knight. The spear I'm only like giving because of the fact that it gives a damage resistance penalty to the enemies. So at GM, the spear will be increasing the party's damage overall by a huge amount. So like making a physical party and not having someone with GM spear is very suboptimal. I just realized that I don't actually have the thing. Okay, here we come. So our goal is to get into the green here. And these mostly poison right now, which is less dangerous than disease, because poison in this mod does damage instead of the normal effect. Normally it just does the same thing as disease. And disease now gives you a damage multiplier. So when you take damage, you'll take, I think it's 25, 50, or 100% more, depending on the severity of the disease. So, a little bit rough. Okay. Probably aggroed more than we needed to aggro there, honestly. Don't want to get poisoned by these, because getting poisoned by them would be bad. That's a regenerator. What did I say? What did I just fucking say about regenerators? And that's really not a good person to have get hit by that. Oh shit. Oh man, I put myself in a bad position. Did I? I didn't give myself the fire resistance. Okay, first boss is dead. So we got about a third of what we need to clear before we can leave. We don't have 10, so we can't save until we get in the green. I don't know if we're going to get in the green first or get enough clearance that we can leave first. I actually just don't know. We do have pretty good DPS, so... that's convenient. I think I do want to loot. Did I already... I think I already looted, right? Yes, I already looted. So, anybody coming at us? Doesn't look like it. We do not have Wizard Eye. Do we go after the spiders first? I haven't turned in any of the quests yet because I technically was doing things out of order. So to control for that, we are just not turning in anything until we're ready to leave, basically. So we're going to complete the entire place, and then we'll turn in everything. This is in keeping with the rules. The goal of the rules is to avoid getting extra training sessions in to reset timers and the like. And so what I'm doing is I'm controlling for that. The quests don't have to be turned in immediately. I just can't train while I have quests that I have available to turn in. I don't need to turn them in immediately. I just need to not train while they're just sitting in my inventory. So since I've already done the training while it was sitting in my inventory, I'm basically just not allowed to turn them in until I would have leveled up anyway. So once we hit the next level... oh god, is that a reflector? What is that? Oh god. Okay, reflector isn't a problem, except for the part where it just kills me from the damage. We got the poison is a big issue in this dungeon. Did we pick up Fate and then... No, we didn't. We decided that we're going to wait on the decision for whether we are going to allow picking up spells. I think we're just going to not pick up spells until we have to. My guess is that you're just going to die of that poison. So we're just going to stand here. I have to just keep spamming S. I guess I could... Yeah, 100%. There's no shot that I can survive a poison until we get more HP gear.
Let's go in.
We might be able to survive it on the regenerators. They might be able to survive it, but the characters that have it from an item are not surviving poison. Poison works for me. Okay. Easy peasy. Nope. It's just full whiff. It's not the characters whiffing, that's just me whiffing. Okay. So we go over here. Unfortunately, we do have to deal with the potential of... Oh, that is a big pickup. We are identifying gear while we're going through here. I'm not going to pretend that the gear doesn't exist until we get through, because we're in a very difficult spot here, and this is going to make killing the bosses much more reasonable. Man, I am really out of practice on actually melee kiting. Enemies do have a shorter melee range than your characters do, so you have the ability to consistently hit the enemies before they reach you. If you play well. So I think we're going to be finishing, based off of what time it is right now, my guess is we're going to be finishing this up, and then this dungeon, and then we'll be ending for the day. Okay. The lightning bolts can't proc poison on you. You are another regenerating fire rat. Okay, that one died much faster because we actually had a weapon on 2 characters. At the moment, we kinda only have, like, DPS on the characters that have lucked into a weapon with a decent roll. So we have 2 characters right now that have decent weapons. And those are really gonna be the bulk of my DPS. I can't just save by going to the entrance now, can I? If I can just save by going to the entrance, then this changes everything. I think we can, actually. We can get... Man, we didn't need to do this twice. We could have just done it once. I need to save that breach save somewhere else. Whoa! Where the hell are you coming from? I was just in the green. How'd you get here? What the fuck just happened? Who the fuck are you and what? Why was they in the green if they were approaching? What the? I don't know what just happened there. Oh god. Okay, we got some speed rays. You can tell these aren't the bosses because they've misspelled the word venomous. Okay, we're in the green already. That's interesting. Do we... Considering how weird that all was, maybe I should just save. Do we feel like we've made enough progress? I mean, we have... I think we've kind of doubled the value, right? Maybe we just save. Just pop back over here. Let's do it. We're going to save the game. We will save it under dungeon because I don't have danger available yet. I need to get danger available for tomorrow. I don't like using the same save file for the dangerous saves. So... Okay. Was one of those Inferno Bats a boss? Right. Oh god, there's more behind me. Oh god, I aggroed some from the other room. It's fine. And I knew that that happened in the past, and I didn't account for it. We're in the green over here, so let's just regen a bit, get our health back up. You have faster regen while you're in the green, so we're not going to save until we pass the 55% threshold. This pack is not going to do it unless there's a bunch more over here. Okay, we just need to get to 65. Projectiles are less of a threat, they do less damage, and they cannot poison. Only the melee attacks can poison. Okay. Monsters are weak and can no longer resurrect. So, we have the ability to leave the dungeon now. Do we do that now, or do we just walk into this corner, save the game, and continue for a bit? No, let's just walk out and save the game outside because I'd like to be able to save right in front of. God, what's his name? Saul? I don't remember what his name is. Okay. So, we have gotten enough EXP to train to the next level now. It's gonna be interesting just doing all of Might and Magic 7 in a row. It's been a while since I've done like just the standard run. I've been on this altered bolster, the max bolster stuff for like months. Like it's been probably close to a year since I actually did a run like this. Maybe it's been more actually. I don't even know. Unfortunately, we did just lose our top DPS, but they weren't poisoned, so we're fine for now. Ooh! Mistakes were made. Okay, we're probably dead. We're dead. We're dead. Yes. This is way harder. This pull is way harder without Wizard Eye. It's going to be made even worse by this, because now some of those are going to be pre-aggroed because of the weird, like, I don't even know what causes that glitch, but presumably some of these are going to be already aggroed. No. Are you aggroed now? I need some of you to be aggroed, but not all of you. Okay, got some, but not all.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, we got a Ascension Emerald. That's actually very good. This is a melee run. Ascension Emeralds are very good for these characters. That is a clutch item pickup. So let's pop outside, save the game. We're gonna try to play safe with this pack. Just pull basically one group at a time. I think there's like 15 or 20 spiders in that room. It's a lot. And they're all packed into just like a couple of packs. So sneaking a little bit of a peek, which is not what I just did there, but... Okay. Okay. Perfect. Just pop down here. Go out, save the game again. Then we can clear the rest of that pack. And from that point, since we've gotten this above 65%, and we can just walk out to save periodically, we're golden. And since this is like the beginning of a run, I will say, for those who don't know, in Maw, in order to save in dungeons, I think it's only on like Doom and higher maybe, it takes food. It costs food. So it costs 2 food to save inside the dungeon. If you leave the dungeon before you reach 65 to 70% completion, it varies a little bit, the enemies will all respawn. So saving is limited until you reach that point. And then even once you've reached that point, you have to actually be able to reach the entrance to be able to walk outside to save for free. If you're near enemies, it costs more. So in the green in a dungeon, it costs 2. If you're in the yellow or in the red, it costs 10. So with 7 food, I didn't have the ability to save at all until I had cleared out enough to get in the green. And now I have a limited number of saves inside the dungeon. Now, what I could do, now that I've reached 65%, I could always just walk to the inn and resupply on food. I could just re-up on food. But I'm kind of walking most of the way to the entrance anyway. And I don't really need the extra food. The only saves in the dungeon that I really have a desire to make are the saves, basically the save right at the end of the dungeon when I need to aggro somebody, where I want to be in like specific position and yada yada yada. Like I might be manipulating their positioning, things like that. I'd prefer not to have to walk all the way back from the entrance every time when I'm doing those pulls. So I'm just saving the food for that. And would it be faster to go buy some more food? It might be a little bit faster, but I'm just not doing it. You know, when I'm given the opportunity to make my life a tiny bit more inconvenient, I will often simply take it. Okay, I think you have aggroed. I don't know if I saw... I don't think I saw an Inferno Bat pulled. I think it was a Vampire Bat, but I could be wrong. Those two should be aggroed. I think they must be locked in. So we have this one, which is a boss. And it is an exploder, which is a pretty bad thing to have in this particular situation. Because it's going to spam attacks, and it's a DPS enemy. And a character who's unconscious is no longer protected. Oh shit. Unconscious characters are also going to take damage from an exploder. So the I think I kind of just need to withdraw, but maybe not. Maybe we make this happen. I think we maybe can make this happen. No, we ran out of space, so we're probably dead.
Someone heal me.
Oh, we actually did die. I was planning on just leaving, but we didn't. We did not manage to leave. I pushed my luck too far, and it got a clean hit, and the explosion effect took out the lower HP target. It doesn't seem like they're doing a ton of damage until they until they get into melee, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh wait, they have a much faster attack speed once they aren't making the decision periodically as to whether to melee or ranged, and they're instead just straight up meleeing every time. Okay, we've got a lot of damage into it this time. Unfortunately. Ooh, we fucked up that badly. We might... Okay, we didn't get the kill there, so we're probably dead. We can duck around a couple of corners. I'm not going to flee from this thing. I am going to try to kill it. I don't have lethal here. This is not my highest DPS character. We're fully dead. We don't... If we had more than one character up, then maybe, but that had a lot of HP still. I think the bats must be a couple levels higher than the rats, because I think that a rat would have been much closer to dead than that after taking the kinds of hits that that thing took. I would guess this thing maybe has like 1,000 HP. But I think the rats had closer to like 800 maybe. Which it doesn't seem like that huge a difference, but it's like when the enemy is like chunking you down with each hit, and you're just like hemorrhaging HP, makes a pretty big difference. Especially because it is an exploder. It's fun having an exploder be actually really dangerous again. Because generally exploders are not super dangerous later in the game. Because they do AoE damage, which is kind of dangerous, but I think we die here, because that's probably... Oh god, I just hit S instead of... Okay. Okay, there we go. Wow. Wow. Yeah, you're poisoned, it wouldn't have mattered. The poison proc was the end of the road. This thing's causing more trouble for me than I'd think it would. I might actually need to not try to melee kite it. It's not very kiteable, unfortunately. Might and Magic 7 enemies are not particularly kiteable. They all have well, certainly all like the low level variants have a tendency to have like ranged attacks. So like in Might and Magic 6, most of the low level enemies do not have melee attacks. There's like very few mixed attackers at low level. In I guess there's some, right? Like you've got most of the humanoids have at least some mixed attackers in their set, right? Like the cultists of Ba have a variant. Like the mid tiers are able to. Oh god, I'm so slow right now. I needed one of those 2 hits to hit. If one of those 2 hits had hit, I think it would have died. But yeah, we have just a limited amount of HP to play with. I could go out and look at that cute bird, but we're not going to. Hopefully it's still there in 19 minutes when we end stream. Birds are cute. You heard it here first, folks. Ooh. Okay. I need to stop playing these. It is hard though. Like this, determining whether this asshole is going to go all the way up to melee or is going to stop an inch away from melee to throw a fireball at me. Because it keeps doing it. It keeps stopping like an inch away from melee. I think we need to lance in and out maybe, but that never works. That's like a... What do I need to do? I think I need to play with I need to play with these corners maybe. Let's be a little bit more aggressive. We can't do like a standard melee kite. That's just not a thing that can happen. It's been so long. Like I've been doing that caster run for such a long time, and before the caster run, I don't know when I was doing the most recent melee one. No, not in a melee run. The spellcaster run is the only run where... Well, there's 2 types of runs where I can use any sort of ranged attack. So, there's the Save the Queen run, where everyone's an archer except one character. And in those runs, I can use ranged attacks, because that's kind of the whole point. But that is probably not coming to Ma. Though, you know, Malika did just... Where are you? Okay. Pick one. You're gonna come from behind. You're not gonna come from behind. Oop, you are just going to shoot fireballs at me and kill me dead. Why are you over here? Okay. Yes. Oh, baby! 2-handed axe! That is what we're looking for. That right there is exactly what we do be looking for. Let's pop out of here. Man, you know, sometimes in life you were rewarded for the things that are deserving of rewards, and that...
Now this will do.
Plus 54 spell points and 112 HP. That's a beautiful thing. So, we're going to go ahead and slap this on you. So the reason that you're getting this is because you're the one who has, like, the absolutely garbage modifier. So you now have the ability to cast spells. Now, do you actually have any spells to cast? No. But I'm assuming I'm going to find a heal spell at some point in the near future. But even if we don't, this is a character who is now super fucking tanky. That's going to be very useful for me. That's a That's a big pickup for me. So we just need to clear out a few more enemies. I'm not anticipating any more bosses, honestly. I think we're golden on bosses. And yes, it does about it was like 120% more. It's like 116. So a little more than double the damage that the other one was doing. Yeah, not too shabby. So let's pick up some stuff here. These are just scrolls. Now that I think about it, it's just going to be scrolls in here. So we don't get any actual books until we open this door. Okay. And I think that the specific books that we get are preset. I think they're explicitly guaranteed to be exactly what they are. I forgot that there was multiple of you. Shit. We need to clear. If we don't kill them, then it doesn't count. I don't think we killed the skeletal warrior. We have to reload. We have to reload. That's my bad. I pulled back too far and aggroed the guards. We're not allowed to let anybody steal our kills unless I choose to allow it.
Hardly a match.
That's not a hard, fast rule. It's just because there's certain circumstances where it's very, very difficult to prevent the enemies from doing it. And I'll be honest, I've made that a hard rule in the past. It's so much of a pain in the ass that it's simply not worth having as a rule. It's just a pain in the ass. We'll see. We have 2 spells coming our way. We have 2 spells incoming. Wow, that was very sad. Okay, we killed the one that can curse us, so we're all good. Okay, in the green. Okay, we got a book. We got a book. We got a tile. So we now have 2 books, and we got that to 100%, which, if I had thought about in the past, I would have realized, now that we're at 100%, we can just save, so... Oops. It's fine. We're gonna go loot the rest of this place, and then we can aggro the last pack. Okay. Okay, got some more leather. Got a nice hat. Nice fancy one.
Sorry.
And I'm trying to remember where the other one is. Okay, so we now have you to deal with. We can save the game. And then we can talk to you, say, you know what, I think I'm going to keep my hat. And then I'm going to run like hell. Because you all can probably one-shot me. Okay, this was a mistake, as you can see. How much did you kill me by? Not much. That's not a huge kill. We have, yeah, that was barely a kill. If I wasn't as low as I was, we would have been fine. So we're going to go ahead and Sal Sharptooth. Okay. We're going to try to use this bed. We're going to succeed in using this bed by... We don't need to use it for long. We've got so much damage. We simply have so much damage. Alright, and we are in the yellow. However, that rule that I said about how you need 10 food, once you've gotten to 100% completion, you can save freely in a dungeon, no matter what. So, we just saved. We reload the save. We don't need to have a specific amount of food, nothing like that, because we've already got 100% completion. Generally, you'll get 100% completion, like, a couple of enemies before you finish. In really big dungeons, sometimes you'll get, like, an entire pack of enemies, or, like, a couple of packs. The reason in this one we got it when we did was because these are green to start out. They're friendly. So we just have to see them and identify them as friendly. Once we've done that, they are counted as cleared. That doesn't seem to be 100% the case for some dungeons. So, like, dungeons where it's a dungeon that all of the creatures in it will eventually become hostile, but they start friendly, you don't seem to get clearance for any of those. I think that it's, like, handled on a case-by-case basis by the developers. But those four, I believe, just count as hostile. It might also not be case-by-case. It might just be that if every creature in the dungeon starts out as friendly, it ignores that for dungeons. So, like, you need to have multiple types, like friendly and non-friendly in the same build. Unfortunately, it is too late to go train.
I don't know.
We cannot identify that. Oh, that's good. I like it. Do we give this... Yeah, let's give this to you. You're currently probably on the weaker side. That is level 7 required and is going to be a huge deal when we get to 7. We have a normal longbow with required level of 90. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's fine. We have this, which... Is that an upgrade over you? It's not. It sure is for you, though.
We could sell it.
So that's nothing. This is 16 armor class. Let's go ahead and throw this on you. That's a crazy amount of armor class.
I don't know.
And we cannot identify this, unfortunately. And this spear is almost certainly weaker than what we already have. It sure is.
Junk.
We're not using swords this run. We have a wealthy hat. We have a club. We have a spear that is an upgrade. So we can just go ahead and equip that. And it's a little exciting to get spears that are upgrades. You don't see that too often. Alright, let's save the game under test. That would have been so much easier. I don't think I tagged that, right? Oh, maybe I did. Oh, this is empty. I do have fire resistance still, so yes. Okay, next on our agenda, we've now gotten enough EXP for 6. We are going to turn in all of our quests. We have completed everything here, so we have the ability to move time along if we so please. There's nothing in particular that we are waiting on. However, I think I'm going to just end things a few minutes early today. It is 12:53. Oh, yeah, the books. I didn't look at those. I do apologize. So we have Awaken and we have Torchlight. So does anybody have Water Skill? You don't have Water Skill, right? We don't have Water or Fire Skill, so we can't do it yet. But we'll be able to get it next time. We'll just pick that up. We have plenty of money to pick up skills. And is Awaken... I think Torchlight's worth it because the dungeons in this game tend to be a bit finicky without it. So we'll definitely take Torchlight and have that turned on. And yeah, other than that, I think we're just going to pick up skills. So that is going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. And next time, maybe we'll just be plowing through things. Things are going pretty smooth. We even killed the dragon with 2 party members. What could possibly go wrong from here? Later, guys.